NOS4A2.
Hey guys, thank you for coming back to my continuing review for NOS4A2. This is for episode 6, The Dark Tunnels. Tell me what you guys thought of this episode in the comments below. And don't forget, consider clicking on that subscribe button and that bell in order to hear any more notifications from me for your future enjoyment. So I like this episode so far out of all the ones we've seen. And one of the reasons why is because this one goes into the past in the 1950s and you see Charlie as a younger man, and that's how the first sequence starts, and you get to meet Jolene, which was that older lady that was in the psychiatric ward that we saw a few episodes earlier. We see her at a younger age, and we learn that she's a strong creative, and you just get that sense of where Charlie came from and who he was before we knew him from the earlier episodes. So you get a feel of why Charlie is against Jolene so much, and why she was trying to stop him. And then we go back to the present time with Vic, and this episode I like a lot because we focus mostly on Vic's direction at the psych ward, because now she is part of that psych ward and she is now staying in the same room as Jolene. So this episode is mostly about Jolene and Vic, and how Jolene is trying to help her, and she now has a better mentor to help guide her toward trying to stop Charlie, because now Maggie, after being in that accident, she's mostly in the episode in the hospital as well, but you don't see her till towards the end. And what's funny with Maggie, she kind of ends up being the same way Vic was a few episodes earlier, where she had nothing to do with it. Now Maggie wants nothing to do with it. So the tables have been turned. Vic now wants to stop Charlie. Maggie just doesn't care anymore. And I remember at the end, she just throws the tiles away and just heads on the bus. And when I saw the preview for the next episode, you can see she's going down a dark path with this character, and it's not looking good for her. The other thing I really liked about this episode is how it delves more into the mythology of being a strong creative. And Jolene really teaches her a lot more on how she doesn't have to just rely on a motorcycle, for example, to use her gift, because Jolene, she had the roller skates and they were taken away from Charlie, so now she had the wheelchair. So it can be anything that she can use pretty much. And she gets to see what Jolene's power is, and she goes with her on a journey to somewhere else. And it seemed like a totally different show after that whole sequence, but in a good way. And I just liked where that direction of it was going, because we're already past the middle of this season. So we're getting more and more into the supernatural than we already have been, because it started out pretty normal for the most part, but little by little as we get through each episode, it's getting more and more towards like a Twilight Zone supernatural type of realm. And this one, for a big chunk of it, that's where we're mainly at. And Vic, after learning everything from Jolene, she now knows that the Wraith is what needs to be destroyed to really stop Charlie. And you see towards the end, Vic is becoming a little bit more wiser. And I like that about her character even more now. I always liked her character, but now you're seeing that she's becoming wiser with this power, with this whole new universe she's a part of. And once again, it's unfortunate that when she meets up with Maggie towards the end, that Maggie is no longer on that page anymore. And I'm really interested to see where the next few episodes are going to go regarding Maggie's character, and see if maybe Vic has to convince her now, hey, we got to stop this, because she doesn't care at all. She doesn't care what happens anymore. After what she's been through, getting hit by a car, she just thinks it's not worth it anymore. I just like how straightforward this episode was, just concentrated on the relationship between Vic and Jolene and the journey they're taking. And I am excited to see where the next 4 episodes are going to take us. And I'm actually excited for this show to be over, because I decided not to read the book until this show is over, because this show is probably a lot different from the book, because the book is, I think, about 700 something pages. So there's a lot that they're probably not incorporating into the show, and that depends on if they end up doing a season 2. I don't know how far they're going to go. So as soon as this show is over, I'm going to start reading the book. But I'm really liking this show. Tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode, The Dark Tunnels? Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give it a like if you like this review, and don't forget to subscribe to hear more reviews from me. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you later.